You've seen the videos, the picture-perfect homesteads, but you've also felt the fear. The fear of starting something new, of wasting money, of making a critical mistake on day one that you can't undo. Now, picture this. You just spent $100 on 50 tiny, feathered dinosaurs. They've arrived, screeching like a fleet of tiny tea kettles. But within hours, your DIY brooder starts to warp from the humidity. The waterer has leaked everywhere, and half your investment is piled into a cold, damp corner. Silent. That disaster scenario is exactly what we're going to avoid. Forget everything you think you know. We're starting from day zero. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you will have the complete blueprint to not just keep your first quail alive, but to have them thriving from the moment they arrive. Welcome to the ultimate beginner's guide to raising quail. Let's start with the most important question. Why quail? The answer is simple. They are, without a doubt, the most productive micro-livestock you can have on a small property. Coturnix quail, the breed we'll be focusing on, start laying eggs in as little as 6 weeks. They require about 1 square foot of space per bird, and their eggs are a premium product that people pay top dollar for. But here's the first hurdle most new keepers stumble over: the law. Before you even think about buying birds, you need to make 3 phone calls. This is non-negotiable. First, your city or town's zoning department. Second, your county's agricultural extension office. And third, your state's wildlife or fish and game agency. You need to ask one simple question. Are Coturnix quail classified as poultry or as a game bird? If they're considered poultry, you're usually in the clear, just like with chickens. But if they're classified as a game bird, you might need a special permit to raise them. For those in the suburbs, make a 4th call to your homeowners association. Check the covenants for any no fowl or no livestock clauses. Pro tip, when you ask, mention that quail are significantly quieter than chickens. That single phrase can often get you an exception. Okay, legal homework done? Great. Now, for the fun part, choosing your quail. This isn't just about picking a pretty colour. You need to decide what your goal is. Are you in this for the eggs, for meat, or for a bit of both? If your goal is a constant supply of eggs, you want a production line. The jumbo Coturnix are fantastic all-rounders, giving you large eggs and a decent-sized bird. If you want those beautiful blue eggs you've seen online, you're looking for a Celadon layer. Just know that they often lay slightly smaller eggs. If you're focused on meat, the Texas A&M strain is your bird. They can reach a dressed weight of 10 to 14 ounces, which is massive for a quail. Now, you'll see all sorts of fancy colour variations like Italian, tuxedo or Manchurian. They look amazing, but be aware that they often don't grow as fast or lay as prolifically as the production lines. And a word of warning, do not buy bobwhite quail unless you have experience and the right permits. They mature much slower and are regulated far more strictly. You've picked your breed. Now, how do you get them? You have 3 main options: hatching your own eggs, buying day-old chicks, or purchasing adult birds. Each has serious pros and cons. Hatching eggs are the cheapest way to get started, and they allow you to source genetics from all over the country. The downside? You need a reliable incubator, and you need to know how to use it. Incubation is a skill, and your first hatch can be a steep learning curve. Day-old chicks are the most popular option for beginners. They cost more than eggs, but they completely skip the 3-week incubation period. You get your birds, and you're off to the races. The key here is to buy from a reputable NPIP certified hatchery. NPIP stands for the National Poultry Improvement Plan, and it's your best guarantee that you're getting healthy, disease-free birds. Finally, adult birds. This seems like the fastest way to get eggs, right? But it's also the riskiest. Adult birds can carry diseases and parasites that can wipe out your entire flock. I only recommend buying adults if you have a dedicated quarantine setup and you're prepared to handle potential health issues from day one. So, what's the verdict? For 99% of beginners, I strongly recommend starting with day-old chicks from an NPIP certified source. It's the perfect balance of cost, convenience, and biosecurity. All right, let's build the single most important piece of equipment for your new quail, the brooder. This is their nursery, their life support system for the first few weeks. Getting this right is the difference between success and heartbreak. First, the container. You need about half a square foot of space per chick for the first week. Large plastic totes or stock tanks are perfect. They're easy to clean and escape-proof. Avoid cardboard boxes at all costs. They get soaked, they fall apart, and they harbour bacteria. Next, heat. This is critical. For the first week, your chicks need a constant temperature of 95 degrees Fahrenheit or 35 Celsius right at their level. The best and safest way to provide this is with a radiant heat plate. They're far less of a fire risk than traditional heat lamps, and they allow the chicks to self-regulate their temperature just like they would with a mother hen. Don't just guess the temperature. Use a digital thermometer with a probe placed right where the chicks will be. Watch your bird's behavior. If they're all piled up directly under the heat, they're cold. If they're all pushed out to the edges, panting, they're too hot. A happy, comfortable flock will be evenly spread out. Now, flooring. This is a place where many beginners go wrong. Never ever start your chicks on a slick surface like newspaper or plain plastic. It can cause a permanent leg deformity called splay leg. Here's my foolproof method. Start with a base of non-slip shelf liner. On top of that, place a layer of textured paper towels. The paper towels provide excellent grip and let you monitor their droppings for any signs of illness. You'll need to change them out at least once a day. After about a week, you can transition them to a wire floor with pine shavings underneath to manage the droppings. Water is life, but it can also be a death trap for tiny quail chicks. They are incredibly small and can drown in even a shallow dish of water. Use a proper chick waterer, and for the first few days, fill the trough with marbles or small pebbles. This gives them access to the water without the risk of falling in. Finally, feed. This is non-negotiable. Your quail chicks need a high-protein game bird starter feed with 28–30% protein. Do not use standard chicken starter. It doesn't have enough protein and will lead to stunted growth. For the first week, I recommend grinding the crumbles into a finer consistency in a coffee grinder or food processor. It makes it much easier for their tiny beaks to eat. The day has arrived. You get the call from the post office. Your chicks are here. Don't panic. Here is your exact checklist for a smooth and stress-free arrival. 1. Your brooder should have been preheated and running for at least 24 hours. 2. Have 2 waterers ready. 1 with plain room temperature water and 1 with water that includes a vitamin and electrolyte supplement to help them recover from the stress of shipping. 3. When you get the box home, open it carefully from the side, not the top. This prevents chicks from jumping out. 4. As you take each chick out, gently dip its beak into the waterer before placing it in the brooder. This teaches them where the water is. 5. Count your chicks and check for any that were dead on arrival. Reputable hatcheries will refund you for any losses during shipping, but you need to report it immediately. 6. For the next hour, just observe. Watch for any chicks that seem weak or lethargic. If you see any, you can separate them into a smaller ICU area with a slightly warmer heat source. And that's it. You've done it. You've successfully navigated the legal hurdles, chosen the right breed for your goals, engineered a foolproof brooder, and safely introduced your new flock to their home. You have laid the foundation for a successful and rewarding quail-keeping journey. You now have the complete Day Zero blueprint. Your birds are safe, they're warm, and they're on their way to becoming the productive heart of your homestead. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, because you've just taken the first step. Welcome to the world of quail.